Myst, Might, Mayhem. By Han Jung-Wioya. Chapter 466. The Great Battle. Part 1. Lacking immunity to women, he was easily embarrassed, his face turning bright red at the slightest touch. However, at the mention of the great ritual tool from Yeo Suren's mouth, his flushed face instantly cooled. No. That's absolutely not allowed. Ah, senior brother. You've already been punished for sneaking into the Divine Origin Hall and damaging Master's ritual tool before, yet you dare say such things again? That was when I was still inexperienced. Now. Even now, Master would have forbidden entry to the Divine Origin Hall. That's why I need your help, senior brother. Aren't you being too brazen? Yeo Suren's senior brother was dumbfounded. Master had originally forbidden even leaving Harmonious Immortal Pavilion, let alone touching Master's great ritual tool. If he found out about this, it would be grounds for immediate expulsion. This time it's absolutely not allowed. With the White Great Ping Demon King's seal broken and diviners disappearing, ominous events are unfolding. If you try to do something so foolish, I'll have no choice but to lock you in the facing wall room. What if it's not just one of the 6 demons being released? What? What do you mean? Exactly what I said. What I'm trying to do may be disobeying Master's orders, but it's definitely not a foolish act. Her suddenly serious tone made her senior brother furrow his brow and ask, "What do you mean it's not just one of the 6 demons being released?" Exactly that. You don't know what mission I've been on, do you, senior brother? It's a rule of our pavilion that missions from Master must be kept secret from other disciples. Surely you're not thinking of breaking that rule? Does it look like I can keep following rules in this situation? Well. As her senior brother looked troubled, she touched her forehead and said, "You remember the heavenly signs Master read? That the 3 eyes would bring chaos to the world? Are you saying the current events are related to that?" To his question, Yeo Suren replied in a meaningful tone, "That's right. If we don't act now because of Master's orders, there could be even more sacrifices than what's happening now." Sacrifices. If we stand by and do nothing, countless people in the Central Plains could die. That's why I desperately need your help, senior brother. Huh. At her words, her senior brother sighed, his troubled expression deepening as he struggled with what to do. 3 days later. The complexion of Mok Gon's avatar, in the form of an old man, had become quite haggard. Though he was enduring thanks to the overflowing original energy from absorbing the blood of spirit beasts, the ancient forbidden technique Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique required the practitioner's sacrifice, slowly becoming overwhelming. At most, this avatar would only last a few more days before its lifespan ran out. Of course, even then, the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique wouldn't be dispelled. A complete true seal couldn't be broken by external or internal forces unless the dispelling technique was activated. What a tenacious bunch they were. Mok Gon's avatar clicked his tongue, glaring at Mok Jiangun, who remained trapped in the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique. He had been constantly trying to take his life with his gaze, but each time Mok Jiangun countered with his mind sword, causing even more damage to himself. How can he maintain such mental strength after regressing to a human? It had been nearly 9 days, yet his spirit remained intact. Originally, this technique was meant to trap beings like spirit beasts or immortals who tried to defy the natural order, rather than humans. Thus, ordinary humans would typically go mad after just a few days, unable to endure the stagnant time. Yet this guy's eyes were still alive, and even in this situation, he was struggling to break free. But it's useless. The mind sword is exactly what it sounds like, a sword of the mind. It only worked on living beings, so it couldn't do anything against the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique that bound the entire space. Hoo. You will die here. In the agony of having everything precious taken away from you. Quack-quack-quack-quang. Just then, the sound of explosions reached even inside the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique. Mok Gon frowned. Huh. That woman was unbelievably persistent. Despite her slowed recovery due to the wound from the formless sword, she had fought tirelessly day and night for 9 days to stop them. In the end, she had managed to prevent them from capturing Ryu So-woo's Hun. Mok Gon clicked his tongue. To actually hold off dozens of demonic-level beast or higher Imimaniang while injured. Was her obsession with revenge this intense? But it seemed that even that was coming to an end now. There were 4 Imimaniang left. All of them were demonic beasts. For her, exhausted and having depleted most of her demon power, this was the limit. He could tell just by looking at her pale face. Huh. As Mok Gon judged, Chunchu was beyond exhausted, hanging on by sheer obsession for revenge alone. With that last attack, she had taken out 3 Imimaniang, but now she truly had no strength left. Without energy, her body was gradually falling downwards. Noticing her condition, the remaining 4 demon beasts simultaneously opened their mouths and fired demonic energy bullets. Pa-pa-pa-pang. Looking at the approaching demonic energy bullets, she stretched out her trembling hand and muttered softly. Father. I'll see you soon. With that, her body was engulfed by the demonic energy bullets. Quack-quack-quack-wang. Around the same time, Mok Jianun's confidants, returning to Heaven and Earth Society headquarters on Hyungwon, were being chased by an Imimaniang in the form of an insect even larger than Hyungwon. Persistent bastard. The excommunicated monk Jia Jiamzhong tried to drive away the Imimaniang using his Vidra and ritual tools, but the cunning creature skillfully avoided them while attacking Hyungwon. As a result, Hyungwon's wings and body were covered in wounds. Weeing. Chwach. Ha. Damn bug bastards. Siep Chun swung his poison sect weapon, the mad dance sword, ceaselessly cutting down the flying insects. Not just him, but the others were also dealing with the numerous poisonous insects sent by the Imimaniang. Even the injured Mong Muyak fought hard but lost consciousness after being stung by a poisonous insect. If 8 poison snake staff Guyong Sao, the expert in poisons, hadn't been there, he might have lost his life. Just hold on a bit longer. Papa-papa-pack. Guyong So protected Mong Muyak while striking down the incoming poisonous insects with his staff. Papa-pat. Even Ma Ra Hyen, who had initially been splitting himself into 2 or 3 bodies to climb onto Hyunwon's back and deal with the insects, was now breathing heavily, seemingly exhausted. Hugh. Siep Chun. Speak. Can you see the headquarters? At Ma Ra Hyen's shout, Siep Chun looked down below the carriage and let out a sigh. Originally, since they had been flying, they should have been close to the headquarters by now, but it seemed they had gone in a different direction while being chased by that giant insect-like Imimaniang. What was visible below was a river. Damn it. Where the hell are we? It was impossible to determine their location. At this rate, it seemed they might die before reaching the headquarters. Just then, the carriage tilted suddenly, lurching to the side. Whoa! As the startled Siep Chun grasped the carriage, he saw the Hyunwon's massive feathers falling in droves before his eyes. What's going on? Looking up, he saw that the feathers on one of Hyunwon's wings were falling out, revealing wounds. Why? That area had been healed by Chunchu, the first rank of secret society. She had cut her wrist, poured blood on the wounded area, and chanted what seemed like a spell, causing the pierced wound to close and feathers to regrow. But now, he couldn't understand what was happening. Why were the feathers suddenly? At that very moment. The Hyunwon tried to delay the fall by flapping with one wing, but the insect form Imimaniang, seizing this opportunity, swooped in and attacked, causing them to plummet downwards. Shoo! Aarg! Grab onto something tight. Below. There's a river below. Jump to match it. Was it a stroke of luck? The place they were falling towards happened to be a river. Splash. Chua! As the massive Hyunwon fell into the river, the water surged, creating waves as high as a tsunami. Mok Jianun's confidants, who had fallen into the water, began to surface one by one. Pwa. Gasp, gasp. Damn it. I almost went to Buddha's side. Muyak? Is Muyak alright? Guyong So, who had surfaced, held the unconscious Mong Muyak by the nape of his neck, keeping his face above water while struggling to kick his legs. Splash splash. Pot. Just then, Ma Are Hyan emerged from the water, taking off his broken mask and grabbing Mong Muyak, saying, "I'll take care of Muyak." Huh. Huh. Thank you. Guyong So, already struggling with his old body and injuries, expressed his gratitude. Meanwhile, they weren't sure if the human was alright. It had sunk deep into the river and wasn't resurfacing. As getting out of the middle of the river seemed to be the most urgent matter, they all started swimming without hesitation. But then... Wuwang! The sound of flapping wings reached their ears, and the river water around them began to churn violently like a storm, with winds so strong it was hard to keep their eyes open. Siep Chun was dumbstruck as he saw the insect form Imimaniang appear above them. The others felt the same way. They no longer had the strength to face this creature. Is this how it ends? At that moment, Krarumbum! Thunder and lightning struck from the clear sky, and dark clouds suddenly began to gather all around. Everyone was bewildered by this sudden change. Chua! Then they heard the sound of water parting, and the currents became more violent. The giant insect form Imimaniang, which had been flapping its wings as if about to pounce on them, suddenly turned its gaze elsewhere. A massive ship was approaching. Countless vengeful spirits stood on the deck, and even clung to the sides of the ship. Huh? The renegade monk Jia Jiamzhong's face lit up as he saw someone standing majestically at the bow of the ship with their hands behind their back. It was the vengeful spirit Ha Yun, who had helped them cross the flooding river during the heavy rain before. The vengeful spirit Ha Yun shouted loudly at the giant insect form Imimaniang, "You bastard! Will you not back away from my friends?" 4 days later, around noon, in front of the 10,000 Great Mountains, a range filled with countless peaks, a vast crowd could be seen approaching in formation. At the front of the line, a banner bearing the name Righteous Alliance fluttered. Finally, they've come. Axe-destroying King Ho Tae Gang, who had been watching from the highest peak, raised his axe. The warriors behind him made hand signals, and in response, the society's warriors waiting on each mountain peak simultaneously raised their flags. Among the black flags with red emblems, large characters could be seen: Tianma, Heavenly Demon. As the numerous flags were suddenly raised over the mountain peaks, the advancing Righteous Alliance's procession came to a halt all at once. Chapter 467. The Great Battle. Part 2. The major sects and families symbolizing the Righteous Alliance, along with the medium and small sects. Combined, they formed a massive force of 46,000. The greatest strength of the righteous faction, which advocated for the righteous path, lay in their cooperation. They prided themselves on being unmatched by the demonic faction in their ability to gather and unite, knowing that even small forces could become strong when combined and concentrated. Let's use this opportunity to completely uproot those demonic bastards. Wawa! With a force even greater than the last great war between the righteous and demonic factions gathered, their morale was sky-high. If the Namgung family, Habepung family, and even the Sichuan Tang clan, who couldn't participate due to unforeseen circumstances, had joined, it would have reached an unprecedented 50,000, the greatest force in history. However, this alone was enough to be called the strongest among the three major powers. Disgustingly numerous. Bright Blade King Sun Yun, standing on one of the peaks of the 10,000 Great Mountains, clicked his tongue. Due to the losses suffered during the internal war with Secret Society and Na Yelriang's elder faction within Heaven and Earth Society, their current force was less than half of the enemy's numbers. Their current strength was 21,000. It would have been difficult if we had met them on the plains, for sure. Hoo. Shadow Clan Master Yacian also clicked his tongue at the enemy's numerical superiority. If they had clashed on the plains, their troops' morale would have plummeted in the face of a force more than twice their size. Thump thump. Defense Guardian Go Yanbek, standing next to Yacian, pounded his fists together and said, "We may be outnumbered, but nearly half of their forces are just rabble. The quality and skill of our warriors are far superior." Hoo. That's right. This was their strength, different from the Righteous Alliance. Having trained their warriors through life-threatening practices like the Corpse Blood Valley, their practical combat experience actually surpassed the enemy's. The so-called gentlemen or chivalrous heroes of the Righteous faction were somewhat lacking in real combat experience. Even when they trained, they stopped at sparring, so their ability to kill others was inferior compared to the demonic faction or Heaven and Earth Society. Still, we must remain vigilant. Those numbers can make up for such deficiencies. However, a twofold difference could provide an overwhelming sense of pressure, making it dangerous to rashly engage in an all-out battle. That's why they decided to utilize their geographical position. Swish! Axe-destroying King Hotegang raised his axe. As if on cue, black and red flags rose over all the mountain peaks at the entrance of the 10,000 Great Mountains, starting from the peak where he stood. Heavenly Demon. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-chak. The advancing Righteous Alliance forces stopped in their tracks at the sight of the flags covering the peaks of the 10,000 Great Mountains. The Righteous Alliance forces, which had been overflowing with morale just moments ago, suddenly fell silent. This was because anyone would be rendered speechless at the sight of those flags filling the mountain peaks. What on earth is that? Why are there so many flags? Could there be more of them than us? The flags were overwhelmingly numerous, and their position on such high ground made it seem as if there were hundreds of thousands of troops before them. Young Myong Sate, an elder of the Hengshan sect, furrowed his brow as he saw the characters, Heavenly Demon, written on the flags. Ba. Was the Danmok clan head's words true? The most crucial part of this matter is the information that the Seventh Heaven is about to start an internal war within Heaven and Earth Society. They had hurriedly gathered and marched south to not miss this crucial moment. If an internal war broke out within Heaven and Earth Society, they could take advantage of the situation. It was an opportunity to deal with both Heaven and Earth Society, one of the three major powers, and Heavenly Demons simultaneously. Drip. Cold sweat trickled down young Myong Sate's forehead. Truly a terrifying person. They had intended to come down before the internal war ended, but had he already swallowed up such a massive force? This is unprecedented in the history of the Central Plains martial arts world. The initial trigger was the danger posed by this person called Heavenly Demon. It took less than a month for him to rise as a new member of the Seven Heavens. He toppled Shaolin's 108 Arhat formation in one step, sealed off the Sichuan Tang family single-handedly, and even subjugated the spiritual sword sanctuary sect, considered the strongest among the neutral factions. Due to this shockingly rapid progress, the Righteous Alliance, for the first time since the Great War between the righteous and demonic factions, since its establishment, became wary of a single individual. Impossible. Moyong Hak, the eldest son of the Moyong clan and another person who had directly witnessed him, also turned pale at the sight of the Heavenly Demon flags covering the peaks of the 10,000 Great Mountains. It was too fast, even for being fast. How could this be possible so soon after the internal war broke out? As they were stunned like this. Listen, everyone. Just then, a voice filled with such profound true energy that it drew admiration resounded throughout the area. The gazes of all the Righteous Alliance warriors, who had been overwhelmed by the flags on the mountain peaks, turned to the front. There stood Zhang Haiyan-mun, the leader of the Righteous Alliance, holding the famous sword Ily. Zhang Haiyan-mun rose into the air as if walking up invisible stairs, so that everyone could see him. Oh! It's the Void Step. Everyone couldn't help but marvel at his appearance. As their gazes focused on him, Righteous Alliance leader Zhang Haiyan-mun spoke again. Chivalrous heroes of the righteous path. His voice echoed like thunder. It was loud enough to be heard even on the peaks of the 10,000 Great Mountains. Even the top executives under Mok Jiangun couldn't help but feel tense, inwardly amazed by Zhang Haiyan-mun's voice. Zhang Haiyan-mun was one of the three considered to be the strongest among the Seven Heavens. the pinnacle of the current martial arts world. Zhang Haiyanmun continued speaking loudly, as if for everyone to hear. There's no need to be fooled by the empty show of force before us. They have not yet recovered from the damage of their internal war. This is just a desperate attempt to deceive our eyes because they fear us who uphold justice. Chivalrous heroes of the righteous path. I, your alliance leader, will lead from the front. I will be the first to bleed and take arrows, so awaken your fighting spirit. Ignite your will to fight. Let's show them that justice will prevail. As soon as his words ended, Waha. When the 46,000 warriors shouted in unison, the heavens and earth shook. As their morale was revived, the expressions of the former Heaven and Earth Society warriors hiding on the mountain peaks hardened. Poison King Beksaha shook his head as he observed this. It wasn't good. If Mok Jayangan, their leader, had been here at this moment, he could have raised morale, but his absence was significant. We need to raise our fighting spirit here too, but Master O isn't suitable for this. O Cheonmu, the master of spiritual sword sanctuary, was also one of the seven heavens. However, as an externally recruited figure, he was unsuitable for raising the morale of their troops through oration. O Cheonmu knew this, which is why he didn't rashly step forward despite being in a similar position to Zhang Haiyanmun. To raise their morale, they needed at least someone who. What are you all so afraid of? Just then, a sharp voice rang out from somewhere among the mountain peaks. Huh? What's this? Who is it? At this, the gazes of all the executives, including Poison King Beksaha, and all the former Heaven and Earth Society warriors turned towards where the shout had come from. In the middle of the mountain peaks, in a position invisible to the Righteous Alliance, stood a peerlessly beautiful woman. She was none other than Wai Soyan, one of the three disciples of the late Heaven and Earth Society leader. Miss Wai Soyan? Why is the young miss suddenly? Everyone was stirred up by her appearance. Regardless, Wai Soyan pointed at the Righteous Alliance and shouted. Why do you think they gathered here like this? It's because they fear our master, no, our Lord Heavenly Demon. Despite all their talk about justice, they're nothing but hypocrites who come in mobs. Why are you afraid of such lowlifes? Are we so weak that we'd be pushed back by these cowards who fear our Lord and us? At her words, the top executives, including Poison King Beksaha, couldn't help but laugh in disbelief. Although they knew she was Mok Jayangan's helper despite being a disciple of the former Heaven and Earth Society leader, no one had expected her to step forward like this at this moment. But then, something unexpected happened. The warriors whose spirits had been dampened by Alliance leader Zhang Haiyanmun's rousing speech suddenly stood up and shouted. Who says we're weak? That's right. Why should we fear these mob-like bastards who can't win with skill alone? Yeah. We're not afraid of such lowlifes at all. Hey, Bima Commander Eui-chan, will be the first to smash their heads. Those who are afraid can follow behind me. Puhahahat. What's the weakest commander doing taking the lead? I, the crushing commander, will take the lead. Nonsense. I'll be at the front, beheading those bastards. As shouts full of fighting spirit erupted here and there, the expressions of the warriors began to change. Their morale and will to fight were rising. And at some point, it reached a crescendo and burst out all at once. Waha. Let's sweep away the enemy. The cheers, echoing even more due to the mountain peaks, shook the heavens and earth more than when they had shaken the plains. As the Allied forces' fighting spirit and morale reached their peak, the corners of the mouths of Mok Jayangan's top executives turned upward. An unexpected situation had unfolded. Originally, raising morale was the job of the leader who commanded the forces, the commander. But Wai Soyan had unintentionally accomplished this. Thud. Huh? In fact, Wai Soyan, or rather Go Chan, Mok Jayangan's spirit servant possessing her body, was so dumbfounded by the rapidly rising morale of their allies that he fell on his backside. He had stepped forward in frustration because no one was trying to raise morale when they needed to hold out until their lord arrived, but things had unexpectedly gone well. Whoa. Did I have talent in this area too? Should he have entered the military and become a general instead of being destined to be an assassin in his past life? Meanwhile, on the Righteous Alliance side, what's going on? Did their morale suddenly rise? Why isn't their spirit dying down? This rise in morale was clearly transmitted to the Righteous Alliance camp as well. As a result, the morale and fighting spirit on both sides were evenly matched, with neither side faltering. Zhang Haiyanmun's eyes, floating in the air and looking towards the 10,000 great mountains, narrowed sharply. She didn't have such leadership skills before. That voice was clearly Wei Soyan's. Did she, who only had a soul left, have such an aspect? Alliance leader Zhang Haiyanmun soon snorted. It didn't matter anyway. Whether their morale rose or not, the original purpose was one: to kill and be killed. His face, with his back to the Righteous Alliance forces, was twisted with madness and killing intent. However, no one could see this expression of his. Swish! Alliance leader Zhang Haiyanmun raised his hand, stretched it forward, and shouted loudly. Front ranks, advance! Wawa waha! As soon as those words fell, the Righteous Alliance warriors holding shields in the front line charged forward towards the 10,000 great mountains with a roar. Facing the oncoming large-scale force of 46,000, thousands of warriors hiding on the mountain peaks simultaneously drew their bows, aiming arrows to meet the enemies. The great battle had finally begun. At that moment, far away, someone was watching the clash between these two forces with their hands behind their back. That someone soon slightly raised the corners of their mouth and gave an order. Bring her to my side. As you command. Pat. As soon as those words fell, dozens of shadowy figures flew towards the direction of the 10,000 great mountains. Chapter 468. The Great Battle. Part 3. As the Righteous Alliance warriors with shields advanced in formation, Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiyom, watching them, spoke in a low voice to Go Chan, who was possessing the body of Wei Soyan, the youngest disciple of the late Heaven and Earth Society leader. You did well to raise our troops' morale, but it was reckless. But go back inside. Li Jiyom pointed to a place with a large boulder. Go Chan, who was about to make an excuse, nodded and walked towards it. He then slipped into a hole beside the boulder. Li Jiyom approached and pushed the large boulder to cover the hole. Rumble rumble. Phew. After erasing the marks left by the dragged boulder with his foot, Li Jiyom sighed and shook his head. Under Mok Jianun's orders, he was the only one who knew the importance of Wei Soyan's existence. That's why, in a counterintuitive move, he had brought her to the battlefield instead of the Heaven and Earth Society headquarters to protect her. The hole she entered was one of many hidden ambush points and safe houses scattered throughout the 10,000 great mountains. It was a reverse strategy, banking on the idea that the darkest place is under the lamplight, but thanks to her blatant appearance, the enemy had now pinpointed her location. This will be difficult. Sring. Li Jiyom, shaking his head, drew his sword and prepared to meet the enemy. Meanwhile, axe-destroying King Ho Tae-gang, on the highest peak of the front line, swung his axe to signal. The archers holding bows concentrated their true energy on their fingertips, pulling the bowstrings. Thud 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 thud. Thousands of Righteous Alliance shield warriors were rapidly approaching. Even in wars between martial artists, the battle resembled that between armies until it came to direct close-quarter combat. Those holding high ground or defending would keep the enemy in check with arrows, stones, and spears. Not yet? The flag-bearers relaying Ho Tae-gang's signals watched his axe with tense eyes. The enemy was approaching, but there was still no signal to shoot arrows. Ho Tae-gang focused on the incoming wind. Despite the arrows imbued with true energy flying much further than those shot by ordinary archers, they were waiting because of the wind direction. The wind was still blowing towards them, so shooting arrows now wouldn't be very effective. Thus, they had to wait until the enemy was within proper range. Thud 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 thud. The Righteous Alliance shield warriors had approached to about 400 paces. The strong wind began to subside gradually. Now! At that moment, Ho Taegang thrust his axe forward. With that, flags fluttered, and as if they had been waiting, the archers simultaneously fired arrows towards the Righteous Alliance shield warriors. Quack 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 quack. As thousands of arrows imbued with true energy flew at incredible speed, the advancing Righteous Alliance warriors stopped. Shields up! Cha 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 cha. At the commander's shout, they formed ranks of 5, raising their shields and lowering their stance. They then infused true energy into their shields. Wangbo Song, the head of the Wangbo clan commanding the shield warriors, grinned. These specially made shields won't be easily pierced even by arrows imbued with true energy. Go ahead and shoot all you want. The purpose of the shield warriors at the front was one, to quickly deplete the enemy's arrows. Don't let your guard down and grit your teeth. Thousands of arrows rained down like a downpour, striking their iron shields. Pu 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 k. This isn't as bad as I thought. Huh. But the sound of arrows hitting the iron shields was strange. Since the arrowheads were also made of iron, they should have made a clanging sound when hitting, but this sounded more like leather or cloth hitting. Pu 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 k. Though feeling something was off, they couldn't lower their shields as arrows continued to rain down. Right at that moment. Shoo! Something like smoke began to rise from around them. Sensing something amiss, Wangbo Song, the head of the Wangbo clan, looked at the arrowheads fallen on the ground. But their tips weren't sharp iron. They were actually bundles of leather or cloth, and smoke was rising from them. Could it be? Just then, the warriors holding shields began coughing here and there. Cough cough. Hack. See, I can't breathe. Some were even seen clutching their throats as if choking. Seeing this, Wangbo Song shouted in alarm. It's poison mist. Poison mist. Retreat. The rising smoke was none other than poison mist. Blood was now flowing from the mouths of those who had been coughing, and many were collapsing with their faces turning blue. Cover your noses and mouths with cloth and hold your breath. Wangbo Song shouted this while covering his own nose and mouth with cloth, using his true energy to block the poison trying to enter through his skin. However, the poison seemed stronger than expected, as his skin stung severely. Thud 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 thud. The shield warriors who had been advancing in formation were now in disarray, retreating to the rear as they succumbed to the poison mist. Those in the rear ranks managed to escape relatively unscathed as they were less exposed to the poison mist, but not those at the front. Thud. Thud. Thump. Hack hack. Erg. More than half were already dying from poison. Damn it. Wangbo Song of the Wangbo clan, also retreating and creating distance, shouted towards the 10,000 great mountains, unable to contain his anger. You cowardly demonic heretics. How dare you use poison? In martial artists' duels or wars, the use of poison was implicitly forbidden. This was not because of the effectiveness of poison, but because it was seen as a weapon specialized only for killing, giving an impression of cowardice rather than honorable combat between martial artists. Therefore, the Righteous Alliance side naturally assumed they wouldn't use poison. However, what's cowardly about killing each other in war? It's childishly hypocritical to say that pushing with numbers when you can't win with strength is fine, but poison isn't. Ha 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 ha. At axe-destroying King Ho Taegang's mocking shout, laughter erupted from all over the 10,000 great mountains. Damn it! Wangbo Song became even more enraged at the sound of laughter. Poison King Baek Saha raised the corners of his mouth as he watched less than half of the thousands retreat. Ho ho ho. They've tied their own noose. Shadow Clan Master Yacian nodded in agreement with his words. If they wanted to counter poison, they should have brought the Sichuan Tang family by any means necessary, sealed doors or not. Such foolish people. Ho 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 ho. The Sichuan Tang family was the only group in the righteous faction that dealt with poisons. However, they had been sealed off after being defeated by Mok Jiangyun. Thus, the Righteous Alliance had to wage war without the Sichuan Tang clan. The righteous faction, which valued principles, was tripped up by their strict adherence to established rules. Those bastards actually used poison. TSK. Hong Won-suk, the leader of Beggar's sect, clicked his tongue as he watched their allies retreating. Other Righteous Alliance executives also couldn't contain their anger as they watched the Shield warriors retreating from the very start. Grind. So it's come to this. They hadn't expected the absence of Thousand Poison Han Tang In He, one of the 8 stars, and the Sichuan Tang clan to have such a huge impact. But only now, as the war unfolded, could they realize the fact that poison can only be countered with poison. In this situation, we'll have to abandon any attrition strategy of depleting their arrows and quickly close in for close-quarter combat. That's right. If we engage in close combat, they won't be able to use poison due to the risk to their own troops. Jin Sokja, the head of the Qingqing sect, expressed agreement with Gu Qiolja, the head of the Huashan sect. While most of the Righteous Alliance executives agreed with their opinion, Yung Myong Sate of the Hengshan sect expressed concern. Ba. Even if we cover our noses and mouths with cloth and hold our breath until we get close, our troops will suffer heavy casualties. How do you plan to address this? We have no choice, Sate. We can't just stand by out of fear of poison casualties. But at that moment, Dan Mok In Ho, the head of the Dan Mok clan, stepped forward and spoke. As it happens, our Dan Mok clan has prepared some poison-repelling beads. How about using those? Poison-repelling beads, you say? Poison-repelling beads. These were beads with detoxifying properties. They could be used as medicine, and due to their strong detoxifying properties, if used to start a fire, they could also have the effect of pushing back and blocking things like poison mist. Oh. How many do you have? About 100. You have 100 of those precious things? Yes. But is it alright to use them like this? If it's for the justice of the martial arts world, how can we worry about their value? Excellent. Excellent. Thanks to the foresight of the Dan Mok clan head, we can reduce our casualties. The Righteous Alliance executives showed relief at the large number of poison-repelling beads. Watching this, Righteous Alliance leader Zhang Haiyanmun, his mouth twitching, turned his gaze towards the 10,000 Great Mountains. He had them prepared just in case, since the Sichuan Tang clan had been sealed off, but he didn't expect them to use poison so soon. Even though they weren't on the righteous path, he thought that Heaven and Earth Society, also aspiring to martial arts, wouldn't use poison from the start unless completely cornered. But seeing them use it without hesitation, it seemed they had been greatly influenced by someone. Was it him after all? Just as he was thinking that they had taken the initiative at the start of the battle, thud 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 thud. The ground began to shake. Murmur murmur. As the trembling gradually increased, the stirring Righteous Alliance warriors all turned their gazes backward. There, they saw numerous cavalry units filling the plains in a straight line. What's this? Could it be, already? The expressions of the former Heaven and Earth Society warriors, who had been cheering at the retreating Righteous Alliance front line, began to harden. The number of rapidly advancing cavalry alone seemed to reach nearly 10,000, and the flag fluttering at the front read, Evil Alliance. Inside the ancient forbidden technique Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique. Mok Jayanun's face, trapped in extremely slowly flowing time and unable to move, was becoming more haggard than at first. Even though time flowed slowly, his mind didn't slow down accordingly. However, Mok Jayanun's eyes were still alive. The single-minded thought that he had to escape from here somehow was keeping his spirit intact. But this was not easy. The completed Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique was literally close to perfection, making it impossible to find even the slightest gap. So even if he tried to break it with intense will, he couldn't do anything to the space itself with his mind sword. Is it impossible to cut without the capacity of nothingness? Within the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique space, time barely flowed, making it impossible to even gather the capacity of nothingness. Without this capacity to support him, there was a limit to manifesting sharpness with will alone. What should I do? Mok Jae-un was becoming increasingly anxious. As time passed, he grew more worried about Chung Ryong's safety. Knowing this feeling of his, Mok Gon maintained a manic smile while looking at him, even though his avatar was facing near death. Is it really going to end up as he wants? Will I be trapped here, unable to do anything? Am I going to lose Chung Ryong like this? These repeated questions to himself. Mok Jae-un's eyes gradually became clouded with deep darkness. Ordinary people tend to become mentally weak when they fall into anxiety. However, this anxiety awakened a deep darkness that had been deeply dormant in Mok Jae-un. Whoosh! Before he knew it, black flames flickered in Mok Jae-un's eyes. Chapter 469. The Great Battle. Part 4. The anxiety born from time flowing so slowly it might as well have stopped led to increasingly deep contemplation, which eventually awakened something deeply dormant within. As complex thoughts disappeared and thinking became simpler, whoosh! Black flames entered Mok Jae-un's field of vision. Though in the shape of flames, they contained a darkness like the abyss. In the endless depths, along with ferocity, a pure demonic nature could be felt. Despite encountering it for the first time, it felt very familiar. What on earth was this thing before him? As he wondered, the black flames flickered and a voice was heard. Can you see? You can see. Are we finally facing each other properly? You. I thought it would take much longer for you to observe yourself, how truly surprising. This voice. It was certainly that. That existence within himself. Is this its form? What on earth is this? As he wondered at its appearance, more alien than expected, the black flames flickered again and the voice resonated in his ears. There's no need to question the natural order that has come. Your encounter with me like this means your will has attained that level of caliber. Caliber? Although you've lost the core, your caliber, born entirely of human will, cannot be equal to mine, who has lived for an unfathomably long time. An unfathomably long time? What on earth is this being? He had learned many things on his journey of revenge that began to avenge his grandfather. However, the more clues he discovered about himself, the more he found himself in a labyrinth. This was especially true because of the spirit sword. What exactly are you? Do you know everything about me? A straightforward question. Answer what I'm asking. A question about myself to myself. How truly novel. What? What is it saying now? A question about myself to myself? As if. Have you been thinking we were separate entities? But that's not it. You must have sensed it clearly. That although our personalities and wills may differ, we are one. Mok Jae-un, momentarily at a loss for words, soon denied this. Nonsense. Why are you denying it? Do you think your life up to now could be negated? The negation of life. Questions about his own identity led him to make the worst assumptions about himself. That the being inside him was actually the essence, and he was merely a derivative existence from that essence. He became conscious of this when the black flame entity controlled his physical body. As if his own will existed but his body wasn't his, he completely lost control. That's why he could only watch. Interesting. It was my wish and choice, but I didn't expect such a strong will to form. What are you talking about? Have you become attached to your own life? The black flames flickered. Though the caliber of will has increased, humans are certainly unstable beings. Born of human will, despite the clearly short life, it seems many emotions have formed. Was it still too early to fully accept after all? As he thought this, Mok Jae-un raised his will. Attachment to life. Don't define me as you please. Don't define? Even if the truth about me is not what I wished for, this life I've experienced until now and these emotions I currently have are entirely my own. The flames fell silent for a moment at Mok Jae-un's strong will. Then they flickered again and the voice resonated. I had a high evaluation of human potential, but you certainly exceed my expectations. What are you trying to say? It's exactly as I said. It's praise. Since you're also me, is it self-praise? Is your constant reference to you and I being one an attempt to take control of this body? I am merely an impurity. What? Mok Jayangan couldn't hide his bewilderment at these unexpected words. What on earth was it saying? From the moment I lost everything precious to me, nothing remained for me. To put it in human terms, it would be correct to say I have no great lingering attachment to life. No lingering attachment? Didn't I say? Even if not human, most intelligent life forms find their meaning in life fades when they lose what they hold dear. If the ability to think exists, that is. At these words from the black flames, Mok Jayangan's gaze became strange. In his previous, more emotionless state, it would have been difficult to readily accept these words. The anger and killing intent that came after losing his grandfather became the driving force that moved him, but within that lay a strong emptiness. Entrapped in the supreme void sealing reversal technique, feeling anxious about possibly losing Chang Ryan, the moment he considered what if he lost her, he felt an emotion entirely different from anger or sadness. Yes. As it said, it was a moment of reflecting on the meaning of life. By calling yourself an impurity, do you consider yourself already dead? That too could be an answer. It might be somewhat difficult for you. No. I think I understand the feeling. The deep emotional line contained in Mok Jayangan's voice. Reading this, the black flames felt something subtle. How truly strange. You've lived for just a fleeting moment, yet you feel such complex emotions as I did. It seems the issue isn't how long one has lived, but how one has lived. Huh. At that moment, the black flames flickered greatly. The surging flames seemed to be greatly agitated. Then a boisterous laugh rang out. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Your words are correct. Whether long or short, how one has lived is what's important. How truly coincidental. Is this what it feels like to see oneself through oneself? You keep saying only what you want to say. What exactly are you? You speak as if you're not human. Are you really a divine being like the fire faith order talks about, or rather a godlike existence? A god. Believers with faith in fire do call me that. A god? Then is this consciousness different from me, or rather within me, truly a divine being? As he was astonished, the black flames flickered and answered. But that alone cannot define me. Those who fear me call me terror, those steeped in greed call me evil, and the pure call me immortal. Everything is like the two sides of a coin. You mean it differs depending on the perspective or viewpoint? Yes. Everyone would define themselves, but anything will inevitably differ according to the subjectivity of those observing. Then what exactly is your existence as defined by your own subjectivity, not that of other objects? A definition of my existence. It's been a very long time since I've talked about myself to someone. No, it would be more correct to say it's the first time. Since I'm talking about myself to myself. I was born in darkness deeper than the abyss. I am the black flame that brings fear, terror, and chaos, the very essence of primordial demons. I was born with the destiny to rule and am a being who received the worship of followers. Whoosh! Eventually, a form appeared within the burning black flames, one that Mok Jayangan had never imagined. A majesty and pressure that seemed to encompass everything. It was awe itself. For a moment, even Mok Jayangan was captivated by reverence, and as the being that revealed itself this way approached Mok Jayangan, it spoke, I am the king. The demon king who rules over all demons. At the same time, in the 10,000 great mountains, the former Heaven and Earth Society warriors under Mok Jayangan, who had secured the high ground of the mountain peaks that were like natural fortresses, grew grim as they watched the numerous cavalry approaching. Thud 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 thud. At a glance, it was close to 10,000 in number. Flags fluttered at the front of the rapidly advancing cavalry, revealing who they were. Evil Alliance. First Alliance Lord, Unruly Evil Hegemon Emperor Hang Sim. Third Alliance Lord, Red Demonic Alliance Lord, 1, Im Mugun. Seventh Alliance Lord, Light Killing King, Ho Ilsa. 9th Alliance Lord, Gal Yun, Great Chief of the 36 gangs of the Yangtze River. Poison King Bek Saha furrowed his brow as he saw the flags symbolizing the Evil Alliance and its 4 Alliance Lords, then spoke in a serious voice, The situation we feared has come to pass. So it seems. The smile disappeared from Shadow Clan Master Yacian's face, who had been showing some composure despite their numerical inferiority until just moments ago. This was because the worst-case scenario they had envisioned had unfolded. The alliance between the Righteous Alliance and the Evil Alliance was something they had anticipated to some extent based on reports from branch messengers. However, because their starting points were different, their strategy was to use every means and method to decide the battle with the Righteous Alliance before the Evil Alliance arrived. That's why they didn't hesitate to unleash poison attacks from the start, but the feared situation had occurred. The Evil Alliance had arrived at the battlefield far exceeding expectations. Even with cavalry, this is too fast. We can only assume the Righteous Alliance provided relay stations for each sect and branch. Relay stations. Places prepared with lodging, food, stables, and carriages, with the most important role being the ability to change horses. No matter how well trained, horses couldn't run for days without rest. Therefore, by changing to horses with sufficient stamina reserves at these relay stations, they could move quickly and efficiently without needing to rest the horses. Sigh. Our chances have decreased further. Axe-destroying King Hote Gang, positioned on the highest mountain peak, also had a hardened expression. Although they had repelled nearly 2,000 of the Righteous Alliance's front line with poison attacks in the initial battle, they still faced a massive force of 44,000. Moreover, with the Evil Alliance's forces added, the situation had grown even darker. What was worse? Unruly evil hegemon Emperor Hang Sim. He was the first Alliance Lord of the Evil Alliance, called the Hegemon of the North, and one of the 7 heavens at the pinnacle of the current martial arts world. The other Alliance Lords of the Evil Alliance were also formidable Supreme Masters, but he was a peerless master of the Great Grandmaster level, ranking among the upper echelons of the 7 heavens. Of all times for our Lord to be absent. They were the top figures of the Righteous Alliance and Evil Alliance. Among the current top executives under Mok Jiangun, only O Cheon-mu, the master of Spiritual Sword Sanctuary and also one of the 7 heavens, could face them one-on-one in direct combat. 2 of the 7 heavens. It wasn't a situation O Cheon-mu could handle alone. The worst crisis had arrived. There's no way out. Is a defensive battle the only answer? The 10,000 Great Mountains were well suited for defense, worthy of being called a natural fortress. By occupying the high ground and making good use of the many ambush points, they could potentially hold off tens of thousands of enemies, so for now, this was the only way to deal with all of them. The one fortunate thing was that, like the Sichuan Tang family, the Evil Alliance had no suitable group for using poisons, so they could use this to delay the enemy's all-out offensive as much as possible and reduce their numbers and morale. Bang! 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 At that very moment, explosions erupted with loud booms from the mountain peaks at the front line. No way? Sudden explosions. The places where they occurred were none other than where the archers and warriors capable of using the Beck family's poison attacks were hiding in ambush. Rumble rumble. Quack 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 quack. The explosives used must have been numerous and powerful, as 3 mountain peaks collapsed, even causing landslides. Watching this, the corners of Righteous Alliance leader Zhang Haiyanmun's mouth turned upward. Hoo. You made your move, main body. Even with the poison-repelling beads, it would have been difficult to engage in an all-out battle without depleting or dealing with their arrows and poison. But with the explosions that just occurred where the archers were hiding, a golden opportunity had arisen. While the Righteous Alliance executives were bewildered by the sudden explosions, Zhang Haiyanmun hurriedly raised his sect's unique weapon, the famous sword Ily, and shouted loudly, "The opportunity has come. Advance!" Wah! As soon as his order fell, the Righteous Alliance warriors, starting with the front line holding torches burning poison-repelling beads, all rushed towards the 10,000 Great Mountains. The same was true for the evil alliance forces that had arrived late. Ha ha ha. We can't let those righteous alliance bastards steal the glory. Everyone, advance. Wah wah. Over 8,000 cavalry charged all at once, roaring at the command of unruly evil hegemon Emperor Hang Sim, the first alliance lord of the evil alliance. As the mountain peaks at the front line where the archers were positioned collapsed from the explosions, the top executives hurriedly shouted in the face of the tide-like all-out offensive of the righteous alliance and evil alliance, "The enemy is coming! The enemy is coming! Regroup the front lines!" Despite losing about 70% of the archers to the sudden explosions and many being injured, they staggered to their feet, regrouping the battle lines while leaving their comrades' bodies behind. In the meantime, the evil alliance forces on the left and the righteous alliance forces on the right had approached to within 300 paces. Thus, the all-out war between the three major powers dividing the current martial arts world was about to begin. Good. Their attention is diverted. Now let's retrieve what belongs to him. Swish swish swish. Just as they were about to clash, black shadows were stealthily approaching the rear mountain peak guarded by Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiong. Chapter 470. The Great Battle. Part 5. Strategically, the Corpse Blood Valley was nominally in charge of the rear. However, beneath this, they were tasked with protecting Wai Soyun. Quack 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 quang. Looking towards the front where the booming sounds came from, collapsing mountain peaks engulfed in black smoke were visible. Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiong furrowed his brow as he watched this. With the high ground of the 10,000 Great Mountains, called a natural fortress, and the advantage of poison, he thought it wouldn't be breached in a short time. But what were those explosions on the mountain peaks? Could there still be secret society spies remaining inside? It was hard to comprehend otherwise. Li Jiong shouted towards the Corpse Blood Valley warriors positioned on the mountain peak, "Something's happened at the front. An all-out offensive will likely follow soon, so be on guard." "Yes, sir." Rumble rumble rumble. At Li Jiong's order, the Corpse Blood Valley warriors formed groups of 12, setting up formations and taking defensive positions. Li Jiong climbed atop a large boulder, surveying and guarding the surroundings. There wasn't just one boulder on the peak. With dozens present, it was difficult to discern which might conceal a secret passage. Thud 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 thud. The sound of numerous people rushing through the mountain peaks echoed. With the front line collapsing, it seemed the all-out offensive was indeed following. As he watched the front, Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiong's gaze suddenly sharpened. Flinch. What's this? While focusing on the front, he hadn't noticed, but suddenly he felt unknown presences approaching the mountain peak. Li Jiong shouted to the Corpse Blood Valley warriors, "Enemies are climbing up. Don't let your guard down." "Yes, sir." At his command, the warriors guarding the edge of the peak looked down. Just then, shouts were heard simultaneously from the southeast, south, and southwest areas. "Enemy sighted. Masked individuals are climbing up. Stop them from coming up." Those with bows or long-range weapons immediately fired arrows and threw daggers or hidden weapons. In response, the masked individuals who had been stealthily climbing up dodged the incoming projectiles with nimble movements, using their lightness skills to reach the top of the peak. "Stop them. The enemy has reached the top. Trap them in formation." Rumble 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 rumble. As masked individuals climbed up the peak from various directions, the warriors who had already formed formations surrounded them. The number of masked individuals wasn't as large as expected. However, the sense of their chi revealed that each was no ordinary master. Seeing them, Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiong also drew his sword from its scabbard. Sring. As expected. Li Jiong clicked his tongue. It seemed they had sent in a small elite force of masters to create chaos at the front, leading to an all-out offensive, and use that opportunity to send people to kidnap Wai Soyun. Of course, that assumption was correct. Nung Jin-sun, the second rank of secret society and leader of the masked individuals, raised the corner of his mouth in a cold smile as he looked at Li Jiyom in the center of the mountain peak. Did you think you could deceive him? The memory from earlier flashed quickly through Nang Jinsun's mind. They aimed for the darkness under the lamp. What do you mean by that? She is here. Her soul and body. Then you mean they brought her to the battlefield instead of Heaven and Earth Society headquarters to catch us off guard? It's not a bad judgment. But only in ordinary cases. Hoo. Such foolish bastards. Not knowing there's no way to escape Mok Gon's eyes. Then, I'll infiltrate the 10,000 Great Mountains and bring back the body when they clash in earnest. No. Move now. What? But if we go now, with their vigilance and the time it'll take to find the body. He had judged it better to wait for the opportunity during the full-scale battle. Of course, this judgment wasn't wrong. However, no. There's no need to wait for their flow. Use all the prepared explosives to hasten the chaos and full-scale battle. The explosives already? Yes. And there's no need to search all the peaks. Find where the Corpse Blood Valley is. How about the Corpse Blood Valley? Aware that the body is being targeted, they surely had their most trusted people guard it. Mok Gon's insight was accurate. Although it was the rear, they had formed a formation centered in the middle of the peak, not in the direction from which the enemy was approaching. This meant his prediction was correct. Sring. Nang Jinsun, the second rank of secret society, drew the saber on his back. Whoosh. As he drew the saber, a blade so translucent it appeared to be made of ice was revealed, with cold energy swirling around it. Sensing this, Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiyom also raised his sword with vigilance, generating heat. Whoosh. Hoo. That's right, I'm your opponent. They were a fire sword and an ice saber, completely opposite to each other. Although he couldn't enter the first rank because he couldn't accept demon power, he had succeeded in absorbing some of the spirit power contained in the Great Pang's blood. This allowed him to assist him closely, and in return, he was granted the Snow Origin saber made from millennia-old ice by a northern craftsman. Those cut by this saber, containing extreme cold energy, would have their wounds freeze and shatter. Shall we begin then? Pat. Nang Jinsun launched his body like lightning, unleashing a saber technique overflowing with cold energy towards Corpse Blood Valley Master Li Jiyom. In response, Li Jiyom also raised flames, countering with a sword technique from the Fierce Flame Sword method. As the two clashed, the Corpse Blood Valley warriors also deployed their sword formations, attacking the masked individuals trying to break through. Clang 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 clang. In an instant, the peak turned into a battlefield. What? When did enemies reach the rear? Although they noticed the enemy infiltration from the sound of weapons clashing on nearby central peaks, the all-out offensive of the Righteous Alliance and Evil Alliance coalition had begun, leaving no resources to assist. If they couldn't stop the overwhelming numbers pushing in, it could lead to their annihilation before they could properly establish their new organization. Stop them. We must delay them even a little. Chwa. The surviving archers desperately tried to stop the advancing enemies by firing arrows filled with poison mist. However, there was no way to delay the monster approaching at the very front. It was. Quahahahahaha. He burst through the purple poison mist with a wild laugh. With suntanned skin and an appearance reminiscent of a ferocious beast, he was unruly evil Hegemon Emperor Hang Sim, one of the Seven Heavens and the First Alliance Lord of the Evil Alliance. Fire. Chwa. Humph. Chwack. Whoosh. As he casually swung his saber with a snort, the rain of arrows instantly vanished. Pat. His figure, having broken through even the arrow rain, suddenly soared into the sky, flying towards the ambush point where the archers were gathered. Faced with his tremendous momentum like a meteor shower, the archers who had been shooting arrows tried to flee in panic and confusion. At that very moment. Clang! Someone stepped forward to block Hang Sim, who was flying with enough force to cut through the mountain peak in an instant. As sword and saber clashed, an enormous pressure wave swept out from the impact. Unruly evil hegemon Emperor Hang Sim looked at the one who had blocked his saber, grinning to reveal his yellow teeth. "Oh Cheon Mu. Alliance Lord Hang Sim. It's been a while." The one who blocked Hang Sim's saber was none other than Oh Cheon Mu, the master of spiritual sword sanctuary and also one of the seven heavens. He had stepped forward without hesitation, being the only one who could stop the unruly evil hegemon. Unruly evil hegemon Emperor Hang Sim spoke with a seemingly delighted laugh, "Quahahaha. It's worth coming to the battlefield on the off chance. I've been wanting to settle that disappointment from back then, you know." At these words, Oh Cheon Mu briefly recalled a moment from long ago. The image of Hang Sim coming alone to spiritual sword sanctuary in the Sword Valley, stubbornly demanding a famous saber be made for his unique weapon. At the time, he had shown displeasure at Oh Cheon Mu's refusal to make any weapon other than swords, but had quietly left. This was because, coincidentally, Righteous Alliance leader Zhang Haiyan had arrived to collect the newly completed famous sword ILY that day. Even for someone like him, it would have been difficult to handle two profound realm great grandmasters alone in enemy territory. So he had left obediently, but is a weapon maker of use if they're so biased? I'll show you the excellence of the saber over the sword, Master O. Like this. High up. Clang. Oh Cheon Mu's body was pushed back by the rebound force from Hang Sim's saber. However, having somewhat anticipated this, Oh Cheon Mu had raised his internal energy and was able to stop at a distance of about 6 jang. His momentum is too high. Pack pack. As Oh Cheon Mu was clicking his tongue at his wildness, pat. This is just the beginning. Grip your sword properly. Clang 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 clang. But Hang Sim immediately followed up, unleashing a series of incredibly fierce saber techniques with tremendous momentum, pushing Oh Cheon Mu back. Meanwhile, the forces of the Righteous Alliance and Evil Alliance finally broke through the poison mist and climbed the peaks of the 10,000 Great Mountains, and the full-scale battle began in earnest. Meanwhile, inside the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique. I am the king. The Demon King who rules over all the clans of the myriad demons. The Demon King? Yes. That is who I am. Though I suppose now I can only say I was the Demon King. You speak as if it's a thing of the past. Hoo. That's exactly right. If it weren't so, we wouldn't be meeting like this as separate consciousnesses. The king of all existing demons. Then, does that mean he's the pinnacle of existence for the Imimangniang? As he wondered, the being who had revealed himself as the Demon King lightly shook his head and said, I do not belong here. What, do you mean? It would be more correct to say a different world. It's a world of endless conflict and collapse. Of course, saying this probably won't be easy for you, a human consciousness, to understand. Swish. With those words, the Demon King drew even closer. Unable to move due to the ancient forbidden technique of the Supreme Void Sealing Reversal Technique, Mok Jiangun couldn't help but feel wary at his sudden action. What are you trying to do? I had intended to contemplate until you attained the proper caliber. Contemplate? I didn't expect her to remain in such a pitiful spirit form. Her spirit form? Wait, what are you talking about? Don't tell me you. Swish. The Demon King placed his index finger on the forehead of the immobilized Mok Jiangun. Then, with a bitter yet sorrowful smile, he said, It's merely an impurity, a lingering attachment of mine. Stop. There's no need to hear it in words. Once you accept me, you'll naturally come to know everything. As soon as those words ended, whoosh! The Demon King's body burst into black flames again, and they began to transfer to Mok Jiangun through his finger.